Although it's 5:41, a Worcester woman has shot to global fame, it says here, after losing 9 stone and blogging about every single step of her journey. It's 24-year-old Katie Lowe. She started the blog Fat Girl PhD in March this year. That's not that long ago. And since then, it's gone viral, meaning now she has people looking at this all around the world. Apparently bigger in America than she is here. And she's with me in the studio. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for coming in. How did this come about?
Well, the blog actually started because I thought it might be a good way to make myself a little bit more accountable. I thought if my friends are reading it, then and knowing, then that I'm sort of face down in a bowl of fish and chips, that they'd be able to sort of hold me a little bit more responsible.
Right, so it's sort of putting money where your mouth is.
Yeah, pretty much. And but after kind of a month and 2 months, it just sort of suddenly grew. So suddenly I had this kind of big audience of people who were kind of asking me questions and, asking how I did it and things. And it just grew and grew and grew.
People looking to you for inspiration.
Yeah, which is incredible.
Like some sort of weight loss pioneer here.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, and the questions themselves, what were people saying to you? Just give us some examples.
Well, how do you stay motivated is a massive one. It's still a question I have to ask myself sometimes. But also what the actual programme is. Because it's actually not really kind of reached much of an audience yet, what I did.
What did you do?
There's a gentleman called Matt Peacock at the St John's Sports Centre here in Worcester, and he designed a programme. It's designed for people who are morbidly obese or who've got disabilities, and I had both of those things, but it does work for kind of anybody, and it's basically a warm-up followed by resistance training, so weights in a certain order, and then walking where you've got to keep your heart rate between 115 and 130 BPM. And you do that for an hour to an hour and a half. It sounds so simple, but sort of combined with good nutrition, there's actually science behind every single last bit of it, which means it does work. But as yet, it's kind of only there.
It's hard, isn't it?
It really is.
It's really, really hard. You are quite open about how things were. And was that the category that you fell into? Were you classed as morbidly obese?
Yes. I was 21 stone. So I was, my BMI was 49. It's supposed to be, it's 30 now, and that's still technically obese. So you can see quite, how far that is from healthy or, even reasonable limits.
And it's very easy for idiots like me to sit here and say, we'll just stop eating chips. But it's not as easy as that, is it?
No, absolutely. One of the things that I think seems to have touched the nerve of people with the blog is that I think to actually lose weight when you're in a situation like that, I think you've got to be it's got to be an all-round lifestyle thing. You've got to exercise more, you've got to eat better, yes. But also you've got to be ready to change, and you've got to kind of mentally feel like you can control stuff, because a lot of the reasons, certainly for me, one of the reasons I ate so much was because I felt like I wasn't in control. So I was emotionally eating and, just kind of stuffing my face to try and fill a void that, wasn't ever going to be filled by chocolate. But at the time, you don't know what else to do.
And at what point did you think, actually, this is too much, it's got to go?
It was probably when I moved into my flat, which I'd kind of moved into because it's actually on a road where there are 2 curry houses, a chip shop, and a Chinese.
Good Lord!
I know.
That is, yes.
It wasn't.
The estate agent saw you coming, didn't they?
They totally
Good
did.
Lord.
But unfortunately, it's also the same road that the St John's Sports Centre is on. So I remember kind of popping into the chippy for my evening meal on my crutches. Feeling really fat, and then hobbling back. And every time I'd see some happy-looking person walking past in a tracksuit on their way to the gym. So eventually kind of, after that had happened too many times, and I'd sort of felt embarrassed plenty of times, I wandered in and hoped that they'd tell me to go away, but they didn't. They were all very lovely, and the next thing I knew, I was kind of, stoned down, 2 stone down, and it just...
One of the most fantastic things about starting a programme like that, when you are carrying quite a lot of weight, I speak from experience here, is the fact that it falls off really quick, really fast.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's
Doesn't
so
it though?
Exciting,
yeah. And you stand on the scales and it goes down.
Absolutely. You kind of run down the street high-fiving strangers because you're having such a great time.
Yeah, you do. And one of the keys as well is making sure you have a treat day.
Yeah.
Does your trainer tell you that?
Well, I don't have a treat day, but if I want a treat, I'll have it. So, you know, I mean, part of the program is that, I'm consuming the right amount of calories to reach my target weight, and that is actually quite a lot of calories. That's like 2,000 in a day.
Sounds like a win to me.
It's massive.
And you're still blogging.
Yes.
And you're still tweeting. Mm-hmm. And so it's 9 stone since March.
No, 9 stone since I started out.
When was that?
That was 2 years ago.
Oh, 2 years ago, sorry.
But then I...
the blog started in March.
Gotcha. And I did have a 9-month kind of break in that 2 years. Right?
And where are you going? Here's awkward blokey question. Is this... are we seeing the finished product? Are you continuing?
No. I think...
Be careful not to dig myself into an awkward hole.
No, I'm still going. I think the nice thing about it is that it becomes, after a point, a kind of such a lifestyle change that the scales are still dropping and I'm still losing fat and gaining muscle, but it doesn't actually feel like I'm on a diet anymore. I'm eating, you know, quite a lot. I still go out, I drink, you know, I have a great time.
What's the target? How much more do you want to go?
I would really like to get to 10 stone 5 pounds, because then I would have lost exactly half of my body weight.
That's a lot,
so that just seems like quite a good kind of point to get to, and also that's a very healthy limit to be at.
And then you can look in the mirror and say, I used to be twice this.
Exactly, yeah, and given I've still got my skeleton and my muscles, you know, I figure that's...
Well, good luck. Will you continue to tell us how you get
Absolutely,
on? How do we look at the blog?
It's on fatgirlphd.com. Okay. You can just Google Fat Girl PhD, and I'm also on Facebook and Twitter.
Okay, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
There she is, Katie Lowe from Worcester. She has started the blog Fat Girl PhD with interest from around the world. Go and have a look at it. It's 5:40.